Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Hearts of Iron for Millennium Dawn with me, Alpha Pi Omega, in Ukraine. So first of all, let me thank you all for the wonderful reception, all the likes and support. I'm hoping that you will find these videos entertaining and educational. And let's see what today's video will bring us. Now in the first one we set the rules of the game, looked at the mechanics of the mod. In the second one we started to play, and today I would like to set Ukraine at its path towards strong, neutral and independent future. But what I wanted to start with was going back to some of the information that I mentioned I will check up on in the past episode. I did. So let me start with the Ukrainian armed forces, because they're quite an interesting topic. From what I could find, until 2014, and that is 2014 included, they were fairly underfunded as the government in Kiev had different priorities. Following the Crimean crisis, though, and the Russian invasion in 2014, this changed dramatically, and an attempt to reform the army was made. However, and I kid you not, there was even a topic on Wikipedia that was called 2014 Army Reform Disaster, so I guess it's safe to say that it did not go well initially. I'd like to tell you more about what went wrong, but for the life of me I can't find it again, and none of the other sources seems to be keen to talk about the initial stages. So if anyone knows what that was about, I'm one big ear. I'm gonna also try to find it again, but hey, I read so many things about this today that it's there somewhere, so I'm not sure what happened. Probably, I remember it mentioned something about the Russians being enlisted, but I have no idea. Anyway, the following years were much better for the Ukrainian army. The budget of the armed forces was increased from 1.3 billion American dollars to 5.2 billion American dollars in 2020. That means it more than tripled in that time. In the local currency, it's even more impressive, going up from 15.1 billion hryvnia in 2014 to 130 billion hryvnia in 2020. Now, there is a lot to say about the Ukrainian currency losing 2/3 of its value during this time, and inflation, but still an impressive growth. Now, by 2018, the army was well on its way to meet some of the NATO standards by 2020, which was its original goal. Most of the experts that talk about the army in the past few years, at least from what I found, spoke very positive about the transformation and the rapid growth and professionalism of the officers and the soldiers. So that's something that I think should be mentioned. The active personnel also increased dramatically from roughly 130,000 people in 2014 to 225,000 people serving today. It's also worth mentioning that over 4,000 of those people are marked as special forces, which is a really high number, and if the news from Ukraine are to be believed, they already proven themselves in the toughest combat situations around Kiev and elsewhere. Where I think the army is lacking, though, is the equipment. Most of the small arms are from the times of Soviet Union, though modern weapons are also present, but it didn't seem like in such high numbers. Same goes for the tanks. All of them are either Soviet or modernized Soviet tanks like the T-80 and the T-84. Infantry vehicles are mostly BMP-2 and BMP-3s, which also go all the way back to Soviet Union. And where the situation seems the most dire is the anti-air, where it seems most of the weapons at Ukraine's disposal are 20 years or older, which correlates with the plea from Ukraine to NATO and EU to close the airspace above Ukraine completely, as they seem to be very ill-equipped to stop the bombardment and constant attacks. Quite surprisingly, they were able to shoot down many aircraft and choppers from what I've seen, but yeah, I get it now. Okay, so that's the army, and as far as aircrafts go, the situation is also not that good either. I checked, and most of the aircraft that are at Ukraine's disposal are about 60 Sukhoi Soviet-era aircraft, mostly Su-27s, which are decades old. So that the situation is also really bad. So not really good as far as the air superiority goes. Ukraine really has a lot to offer in terms of resistance on the ground, but the air is not their strong domain, definitely. Now, regarding the Navy, I have looked at that as well, and wait, where is the Navy? I want to check something. Yep. So regarding the Navy, the situation is a bit similar to what I was saying about the Army. Navy was severely neglected all the way up until 2014 when the annexation of Crimea happened. Currently, the Ukrainian Navy has 1 frigate, 1 corvette, 1 minesweeper, and 13 patrol boats, plus about 20 support and landing ships. So nothing that big, but, you know, the Krivak class that is their main ship is actually a Krivak class 3, as the original Krivak class is from 1970s. It's a Soviet era ship, so they heavily modernized it, and their flagship is called, you guessed it, Hetman Sahaydachny. So the ship that we are starting with here, this is the flagship of the Ukrainian Navy. Now, this one, I looked in particular, was completed in 1992 and commissioned into the Ukrainian Navy on the 2nd of April 1993. So we definitely will have to modernize this ship down the line. By the way, as a side note, there is an unconfirmed Russian report from yesterday that the ship was scuttled by its own crew to prevent it from falling into Russian hands. I really hope that's not the truth. But if it is, rest in peace, little ship. You made it almost to 30 years of age. So yeah, that's as far as the news around Ukraine goes. And I also looked into the wars that we see here. And they're actually quite extensive. I had to go back into my university notes because learning about the history of Africa was always a bit weird for me, because most of these conflicts are so far-fetched as far as their, I don't even want to say like rationalization go, as far as their reasons go, but most of this really goes all the way back into the colonial era, and it's really insane. So I'm going to start by speaking about the Second Congo War, which started in 1999 and went all the way to 2003. This one is also known as the African World War, or the Second African World War, because there was also the First Congo War, which was called the First African World War. Now, these conflicts drew in over 20 African countries and cost countless lives. The death toll for the Second Congo War, from what I could find, was about 5.5 million people. So insane. I wanted to speak about the Somali civil war as well, but yeah, there's not much to say that wouldn't be publicly known. This is the same war that's pretty much raging until today. Arguably, it's the same war, but you know, all the people that fought in this era are probably already dead, and different people are raging there and killing each other now. But yeah, there's not much to say about it. It's, if you saw Black Hawk Down, it's the same conflict. It is the same conflict. There's also the Second Liberian War here that started as well in 1999 and ended in 2003. Pretty weird conflict. Couldn't find the rationalization for that at all. It was basically about who's gonna rule the country. Two separatist groups attack Liberia from south and the north, and then had at it. And the last war that we actually spoke about a bit in the last episode was the Eritrean-Ethiopian War that started in 1998 and ended in the year 2000. So we're right on track with that. Not much to say about it either. It was mostly a border war, didn't go anywhere. Neither Eritrea or Ethiopia lost much of its territory. So, yeah, white peace it is. So let's see how the other wars are gonna go. We can maybe later on, that's one thing that I should consider, build up on our interventionism. Right now we are fairly isolationists, we are, where was it? Local security, here it is. And we can go all the way to global interventionism or neo-imperialism if we want to, but we need we need the money and we need the army for that. Now I'm fairly certain, I haven't really checked, considering my comments regarding the Soviet equipment here, if we can get some newer weapons here, or does it? Yeah, okay, here's the T-84, which is the... Yeah, T-80 UK and T-84 are the core of today's Ukrainian forces. There's the MBT 2025. So, okay, they don't have any models here because they never really happened in the real world. But as I mentioned before, the game actually gives you a really nice option here where if you have the money, you can purchase stuff from other countries, which is just awesome. Like here, we can buy the M1A2 from United States for $12 billion, and we would get 42 units of the American Abrams tank. Or we could buy the T-90 from Russia for $12 billion and get 42 units of the Russian T-90. Or the French tank, or the Leopards, and so on. So you don't have to do your own research. You can focus on some things and purchase other stuff from other countries. So that's something that I really, really like. Now, hey, we're in the positive numbers. Look at that. We're making 0.084 billion per day and spending 0.066. So we're actually making money. Yeah, our daily balance is 0.01 billion. That is nice. Okay, so it seems like our finances are starting to get a bit in order. I'm kind of happy about that. And we have the command power, so let's spend it on our generals. I think we spend it on our generals already. It's time to spend it on our lieutenant generals. So Serhiy Drozdov is an engineer, giving him extra attack against forts and rivers, and we can give him additional 20% boost through the fortress bust trait. Okay, so let's do that. Lieutenant General Anatoly Shevchenko is a panzer leader, and he could become a panzer expert or combined arms expert. So let's go with combined arms. I don't really think we have the money or that many things in our future. I'll have to reorder these armies and, make a bit more, I'd say, logical squadrons. But again, you can see the 2% battle strength. Wow. Okay, Lieutenant General Mikhailo Zabrodsky. I don't even want to talk about the army reform. We're looking at 2014 as a realistic time frame here. So you're a commando guy, and we can be a skirmisher, a paratrooper, or a camouflage expert. Let's put you on skirmisher. And Lieutenant General Alexander Lokota. This guy is a trickster. He can become an improvisational expert or guerrilla fighter. So let's go with guerrilla fighter. He's also a ranger, so special units for you it is as well. Now I know that the special units are pretty damn good. Let's start with empty, and you have the special forces operation here. So the soft attack is 11, the hard attack is 12.3, defense 14.9, and breakthrough 9.2. If we change that to light infantry, wait. Oh, interesting. Special operations have the same as airborne light infantry. What's the difference? Okay, much less manpower, and these guys have a vastly increased bonuses. Wow. Attack over river plus 40%, plus 50% in amphibious, plus 10% in jungle and in urban. Increased consumer confidence. Recent conditions within the Ukrainian economy has shown the consumers that now is the perfect time to spend money and make investments. People are buying up goods like they have never done before. Hey! Replaces stagnation with stable growth. stability +2, and construction speed +15%. Nice, that's something we needed. I didn't mention that, but our stability was only 22%, which is pretty good, though, not that good. And now it's 24. So that means we're making more money, aren't we? Yeah, 0.02 billion per day. So I can repay some of these loans that we got. Let's repay 1 billion. We're already paying a bit of debt. What's it called? Interest on debt. Okay, I think it has a special name in English as well, like debt management payments or something like that, which is riots. Debt management payments or something like that, which is bad, but not that bad. Okay, right. Supporters for the Novorossian independence groups in Donbass have started to protest all across the country. The riots are most fierce in the southern area closer to Donbass region. How should we handle the riots? So in the past one, we managed to increase the stability of the regime and the chances of the riots. Right. Let's unpause the game. It can run in the meantime. Wait, where is it? What? Oh, here it is. Yeah, 21% compared to 8. So we can break the riots, which lowers the chance of revolt by... No, increase... Oh no, it lowers the chances of revolt by 1, but lowers the stability of the regime by 5%. Or we can negotiate with them, which takes away 100 political power, but helps us. So let's do that. Somalia took 2 states. Somali National Alliance was annexed. Okay, so it's now just Jubaland against Somalia. Well, good. So we spent 100 political power again to keep the regime secure, but our investments should be paying off in the long run. Yeah, stability of the regime is 24% and chances of revolt is 7. So that's nice. Nice. No divisions in basic training. What a pity. Still missing quite a lot of stuff. But let's look at the construction speed. Oh, wow. Okay, used factories only 1. Why is that? Okay, this is also 5 industries. Are we importing something that I'm not aware of? No, we're actually exporting. What the hell? Why are we using only 1 factory? Is it because... of something that I missed? Not entirely sure what's up with that, to be quite honest with you. I'm pretty sure there is a reason. No, actually no. Okay, we have 4 factories that are available, and we're using 3 for tax costs, so yeah. Next one will be complete on 2nd of January 2008. That is utter and complete nonsense. How much does it cost to start that project that would give us extra factories? I don't want the foreign arms market. Nope. NATO membership or joining the EU is out of the question right now. Okay, help event, we don't need that. One of these events, court local leaders, strike arms smuggling. Manpower rolled by 1,001 billion from treasury. Oh, okay, so we would get extra weapons, reinforce the militias, disband the militias, or reign in the Donbass. Here it is, lease industrial complexes. So add 3 off-map civilian industries, remove 2 billion from our treasury, active for 90 days. Okay. Wait, add -3 off-map? Okay, I'm not sure what that means. I'm hoping that means what I think it means, but I'm not sure. So anyway, national focus complete. Our identity. Support us in the government. The Ukrainian parliament is a diverse place. Those who represent the western side of the country are often more liberal in their policies and lean towards more cooperation with the rest of Europe and the Western world. However, those in the east tend to support policies that benefit our relations with Russia. The main choice here lies in whether or not we will surrender to the Russians and fall in line like Belarus. So we can go with Ukraine above all, or seek closer ties to Russia. So we're going to go with Ukraine above all, because that, I believe, should give us access to pro-Ukraine parties. Awesome. So what does this one do? Pro-Ukrainian forces came to power in the country, trying to occupy a worthy place for Ukraine on the world stage. It does not matter whether the new government will look into the West or give preference to the development of its region. Without a doubt, this will worsen relations with Russia. So politics will change. Oligarchs becomes the ruling party, and public elections will be held. Okay, I guess that's the end of Leonid Kuchma. We'll see how this is gonna fare for us. But I'm thinking we might actually want to borrow some money here, and yeah, isn't it selected? This is weird because it's saying add free. Yeah, it adds free off-map civilian industries. Okay, so let's do that, and yeah, that's helping. So we can pay for our constructions. I'm gonna try to do this so that we get more factories here. Though, how's that? Yeah. Okay, we're paying more on the debt now. Oh, wow. Okay. Not sure what exactly happened there, but our budget has completely changed. So now we're earning 0.160, well, basically 162 million per day and losing 180 million per day. So we get 157 political power. I think I'm going to increase the taxes further to make sure. Yeah, okay, we're back in green. Not exactly a sustainable situation in the long run, but it's, well, 20 taxation. I'm a Czech guy and I would love to pay only 20 on my income. Though I guess this is, yeah, it's simplified, but 20 is still not that much. Cool, and increasing that tax rate took away the rest of our factories. So now we have only the 3 that we are leasing. So basically the leasing is the only thing that we can do right now. But I'm okay with that as long as we are doing things that we need. Now I'm wondering, if you can buy foreign equipment, can you actually sell your own equipment if someone is looking to buy? Retool shipyards, industrial projects. I'm not entirely sure what these things do. Okay, investing in local industrial projects can help boost GDP growth and local economic value. Infrastructure investments. Well, we're not really making that much money, are we? Yeah. But if it eventually comes into that, I'm okay with, throwing money at our economy until it gets better. So how's the war in Angola and Congo is just going off rails. Liberia is still doing the same thing. Somalia is fighting Jubaland. I wish I could see what's happening in there. That would be pretty cool. Though not entirely sure that's something you would like to live through. So let's speed this up a bit more. Yeah, we're producing 1 gun per day. That's just awesome. The stability needs to go up because it's really severely screwing with our arms production and everything. That's just not cool, guys. Not cool. Now at least we are. Oh, okay. We're losing money again. Okay, the economy is increased again, but not in a good way. Oh, okay, I can deal with a bit of debt. That's not that horrifying. Oh, but look at that. Okay. We now have 10 factories available for construction. Okay, I have absolutely no idea what the game is doing back there with that. But I'm not gonna complain that much about it. It's kind of fun. So what are people doing around us? Russia, we don't know, but Putin is still in power. In Germany, we have the EU enlargement. So Germany is working on what? Oh, Germany adds 5% Euroscepticism, but here is the 2000 enlargement of the European Union, which adds all of these countries listed here, 10 of those actually into EU. So that would be pretty cool if it went through. I mean, it's a good way for the EU to gain more power, though it was controversial. I remember a lot of discussions at the time about restriction on the markets and how especially it was targeted against Poland, and later on when Romania and Bulgaria joined in 2007 against them. But the restrictions on the movement of the people around the European economic space was pretty rough in the beginning. Later on, though, we're benefiting from it. Now, today I cannot even imagine it would be something different. Though with the COVID restrictions, the traveling around Europe has been severely restricted anyway. But that it is what it is. Like, I cannot complain about stuff like that all the time. And maybe, hopefully, one day Ukraine will join as well. It's today that that President Zelensky actually signed the request to become a candidate for Ukraine into EU. So the candidate status might be given in the upcoming days. We'll see how that's gonna go. Though I'm not entirely sure how that would work under the pressure from Russia. But yeah, well, still pretty good gesture if it happens. At least it shows that the EU is determined to support Ukraine to the very end. Okay, our political power is 117. I think that at this point we're gonna start saving it a bit and see if we can invest it in something a bit more useful. So, pro-Ukraine parties. Politics will be changed. SPU becomes the ruling party. Public elections will be held. So, the SPU won. And it lowers the chance of revolt and increases the stability of the regime. Yeah, our stability jumped to 34. Awesome. And we get Petro Poroshenko as the president. He's a social democrat, rational and humble. So the SPU is now ruling party of Ukraine in coalition with Fatherland and Freedom. So not the oligarchs. I'm actually kind of surprised. I thought that the game stated that, but yeah, I guess. Well, the oligarchs were supposed to take the power, and then elections were supposed to be done. So yeah. So what are we gonna go with next? Now, founding the NABU would lower the corruption, so that is a really good choice. It helps with the division, recovery, stability, research speed, encryption, military industry output, ideological drift defense, and counterintelligence. Judiciary system actually just replaces the ineffective government, but you do the same thing. Yeah, police reform. Okay, that ups the basic police and security funding with high police and intelligence funding. Healthcare reform, education reform, and Ukraine Orthodox Church. So, actually, as a save the status quo now unlocked. Oligarchs. Increase opinion of Petro Poroshenko from negative to indifferent. Replaces kleptocracy with empowered kleptocracy. Okay, cost to change corruption plus 50%. But we get more resources. So let's found the NABU. Founding and launching the National Anti-Corruption Bureau was one of the requirements set by the IMF and the European Commission for relaxation of visa restrictions between Ukraine and the European Union. NABU, or NABU, will investigate corruption in the country and prepare cases for prosecution. So this is the first step for us to lower the horrendous corruption, at least to unrestrained corruption. And then I know that's the second step after we get the judiciary system reform and police reform, so that we can get the anti-corruption action, which will further lower it from from unrestrained corruption to systematic corruption. Systematic corruption somehow sounds harsher than rampant corruption, but okay. Well, then there's the widespread corruption, but that's still much better than what we are facing right now. I mean, seriously, guys, we're dying here. But the stability has increased to 34%. That is awesome news for us. We're still losing a bit of money, but as I mentioned, I'm kind of okay with that. And the construction is going smoothly, so the factories will be increased, and I think that the production of military equipment should be slightly better now as well. Well, it ain't great, but we are definitely getting closer. Yeah, look at that. It's jumping up and down, up and down. We need to boost the stability a bit more, and then we'll be golden. Now we will do that. Judiciary reform. Actually, I think once we get this one, these will have no effects. Or maybe they will boost that? I don't know. It might be a good idea then to go with something like... this will definitely increase... This will definitely increase our expenses though. We could go with the Revolution of Dignity next. But this is something that happened way later, in 2004, as the Orange Revolution. And again, all of these seem to just give pro-Ukraine government reforms, which I appreciate, but I don't know what the effect of that will be once we get the first one done. So, who knows? We could get some governmental ideas here, but it's just vehicle, aircraft, helicopter, ship, and submarine company. I'm not entirely sure that's something that I really want. Okay, what's this? Local protests. Some oblasts have been experiencing growing amount of protests, causing great amount of stress in the regions. It is truly troubling that the people we allow these violent displays with open disregard to us. Crack down on them, or let them protest. That raises the chance of revolt by 2, but raises the stability of the regime. Or we lose manpower, raise chance of revolt, but lower the stability of the regime. So it's a question of what you want to do. I think we can take it, right? Yeah, the chances of revolt are fairly low, so let them protest. I'm okay with the stability of the regime going up and the chances of revolt slightly as well, if it means that the stability of the regime is going to be okay. Okay, what can we do here? Support campaigns. The people do not support our choices in the regime. We should run some campaigns in order to bring additional stability to the government and the people. So it costs 1 billion from our treasury, lowers the political power gain, but vehicle stability is increased. And raises the stability of the regime by 4. Okay, let's do that. That is definitely something that we want to do. We had to pay for it, unfortunately. And while we're at that, I think we might do a small investment in the industry. And I'd like to do a pro-Western propaganda campaign, which is going to... All of these are going to lower my political power gain, quite dramatically actually, but the pro-Western propaganda campaign will give us extra daily pro-Western support. Using information on warfare, we can influence the public opinion about the world situation. However, any such campaign will only be effective for a limited period as people gradually lose interest. And I also wanted to start looking into the Russian influence in our country. Russia, actually, it's falling down. Yeah, total influence is 468, and 46 is on us. So attacking influence from Russia would cost 200 political power and reduces Russian influence by 4%. I don't really mind the influence from Poland. I wouldn't mind the influence from Russia, it was there, but we should get our independence to at least 50%. That seems like a reasonable threshold to me. Okay, on that note, I think we're done here for this episode. We've done a couple of things, looked into a couple of things, and in the next episode I'm going to start with the national National Anti-Corruption Bureau. Okay. Anti-Corruption Bureau. Oh, okay. So it should be actually NACBU, but it's just NABU. So thank you very much for joining me. I hope you found this episode interesting, and I'll see you in the next episode where we are going to found the bureau to make Ukraine great, I guess. No, at least not so awful.